So the Snow White disaster continues for the Walt Disney Company. Not only did they cancel the UK premiere for their film, but they are also actively now cost-cutting when it comes to their marketing funds for their marketing campaign. Essentially, this will result in less commercials, less ads, less, of course, TV spots, whatever it may be, for the marketing of Snow White 2025, featuring Rachel Zegler, who, by the way, is the sole individual that really contributed to the disaster that is this movie, and exactly why the overall press tour is just one of the worst ones that we have seen by the Walt Disney Company for CEO Bob Iger. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Rachel Zegler is that we know that she is beginning to actually gain a lot of traction, and not in a positive way, in a very negative way, alright? A lot of other personalities and celebrities are beginning to call out Rachel Zegler for who she truly is, and what she's really all about. We already know that she is basically what I like to call as an activist, an actor that likes to drag their activism into their work way too much, as well as their politics. This is exactly what Rachel Zegler did time and time again, and continues to do so, as well as dragging in her arguments about sexism and misogyny and everything else with bigotry. It just keeps going on, and it's not helping Disney one bit. However, when it all comes down to Mel Gibson, who, by the way, has been calling out the flaws within Hollywood, the flaws within the film industry for the past 4 to 5 months now, and rightfully so. What's interesting here has a lot more to do with Mel Gibson calling out Disney, Rachel Zegler, and their upcoming film Snow White. Let's get into it. Now, with the Rachel Zegler backlash only getting worse, and her film Snow White by Disney already projected to be a box office failure for the Walt Disney Company, one major development going on now involves more to do with Rachel Zegler and how actor Mel Gibson called out both Zegler and the film Snow White, where he delivered the following. Well, yeah, man, I think if you take a closer look at what's going on in Hollywood, you know, this industry that really just alienated over half of their core customer base, you still have studios like Disney and what they are doing with this film, Snow White. I mean, have you seen the actress that stars in this thing? Who is she called? Yeah, Rachel Zegler. So you have this actress that not only insults the original source material, but also the entire concept of a romantic story of the prince saving the princess, and how that's sort of a creepy thing. Now, this was like, what, 2 years ago or something like that, and we actually saw this weeks ago, and how this was going to be dropping in theaters in a couple of weeks, and how she is going off about her politics and activism. People are tired of it, man. People are tired of this actress that reminds them way too much of someone like AOC or something. I don't know what's going on there, but something's going on between those two. But these actresses like Rachel just need to stay out of their activism already that is pressed on the public, and to stay out of their politics as well. You can have your beliefs all you want, and your thoughts about politics all you want as well, but damn it, keep it out of promoting a movie like Snow White and marketing of movies like this already. Nobody wants to hear any of this garbage anymore. We have a mandate on November the 5th, and that's obvious, and that obviously translated to not just a call for change in politics, but also in entertainment as well. Some studios are getting the memo, some aren't, and it just seems like Disney doesn't know what they are doing with this Zegler person. I mean, we know have a movie called Snow White as a film that is about a resistance saving society. From what I heard, what the hell is that all about? Is this Snow White or an action film? I don't know. So guys, let me just stop here about what Mel Gibson is putting out there. Now, I like how he did call out the fact that basically this movie is setting itself up to be a movie about saving society. Rachel Zegler admitted to this. Basically, it is going to be about Snow White leading this resistance to save her kingdom, or to save a kingdom run by the evil queen. It's very odd, and yeah, I could expect it to be done in a way from the Kristen Stewart film. You guys may recall that movie, that iteration of Snow White. But this is a Disney version of the movie. It really should not be about a resistance saving society, and how Basically, the Seven Dwarfs, if you have seen them in this movie, in the trailer, and all the TV spots that have actually been thrown around out there, they just look creepy as hell. They really do. And Mel Gibson put it out perfectly that people are tired of these actors and these actresses that get way too involved in activism and politics and how they press that onto the general public. That's exactly what Rachel Zegler did, and Mel has a very good point there, is that there are a lot of families out there that are just very tired of all this nonsense, and he goes into this right now. Let's discuss further. He goes on to continue, parents don't want their young ones near anything to do with actresses that promote their politics connected to a movie. Nearly nobody wants any of that. Now, of course, you are going to have those rooting for and supporting this movie, and that's fine, but stop calling us bigots for rejecting a film like this that was so obviously damaged by this Rachel Zegler person. Americans are smarter than these politicians and Hollywood producers think. They are more than just numbers. These are hard-working people, hard-working Americans, and for Hollywood to destroy yet another great piece of pop culture, a character like Snow White that actually, and you should know this, originated from the Brothers Grimm, but I think most remember the 1937 original by Disney, that was just mocked by Rachel. Just a terrible thing, and it's Disney's fault at the end of the day. What else can I really say? You know, it is what it is. What else can you expect from Disney? So again, I mean, he does have a good point there. What else can you expect? What else can you really expect from Disney when it comes down to a live-action remake based on an animated classic? Now, look, they did the same exact thing with Star Wars. They did the same exact thing with the Marvel Universe. They wrecked those two franchises. And if you go back to 2012 and what they did with Star Wars, I'm getting these deep vibes of what Amazon is about to do with the James Bond franchise, about how they took creative control over that franchise. I'm getting the same exact feeling about what I did with Disney back in 2012. Now, look, we already know that Rachel Zegler is basically an abomination of an actress. She destroys everything that she touches because, well, she literally just dismantles every single press tour, whether it's for her movies like Y2K or Shazam or other movies out there that she starred in. I think at the end of the day, this movie's gonna fail. Disney knows it, we know it. We already know that all 8 test screenings failed, one after the other, for Snow White 2025. And that really is a telltale sign that people are just tired of all the nonsense. Now, look, at the end of the day, Rachel Zegler is going to say whatever she has to say to defend this movie, to go into damage control and double down mode. She already stated how she's very tired of these critics that are really just very opinionated and very much vocal. Look, that's their job. Critics have to say what they have to say about a movie. You know, they should not be called bigots or sexists or misogynists for having an opinion about a movie that so happens to star a female lead that is very flawed when it comes to the storytelling. It should not equal to critics being misogynists, sexists, and bigots, right? That's just basically nothing more than a scapegoat, and I think Mel puts it out there perfectly as well, that a lot of these families that once supported a character like Snow White are hard-working Americans, hard-working people. They are more than just numbers, and it's true. A lot of politicians, a lot of Hollywood producers, specifically, you know, for this story, a lot of Hollywood producers, a lot of them really do view the audiences out there, people, as just numbers, not people with feelings or emotions or different ways of thinking. A lot of them just kind of abuse everything and just use whatever they can do to actually gain no matter how much money that they can make. Now again, I think that this movie really is going to show you something quite different, but I would like to hear what everyone has to say about all of that below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.